What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Level With You show. It is a weekly video game podcast where the four of us get together and talk about, you guessed it, video games. My name is Wiley Olmstead, and this week I am joined by Anthony Dewart.
I got my flu shot today.
Kenny Castro.
I didn't get my flu shot.
And Tyler Hadley.
Hey, everybody. Hey, I'm going to be on screen sometimes, but not all the time.
You can find it right down there.
The ever-evolving look of the show as we progress and grow and learn how to do new things. You never know what you're going to get. But
Yep, so here I go. Bye.
See ya.
all right, so we are streaming on Tuesday evenings now on Twitch. And yeah, I think that's going to be the regular thing going forward. We're going to see how that goes. But videos up on Wednesdays as well as on podcast services. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Some other stuff to mention before we get on with the show. Kenny is now doing his Madden Mondays. You can watch him play from, what is it? You start at 7?
7 p.m. Eastern until, 10 p.m. Eastern. Last night was a special night. First night, I got challenged right at the end of the night. So we went until 11.
Okay.
But
very nice. So yeah, feel free to challenge Kenny. And if you want to, let us know in the comments and he'll reach out to you and you'll exchange PSN names. Or you play it on Xbox, or it's crossplay, right?
no, it's not crossplay.
Oh, it's
but
not.
I am playing on PS4.
Okay,
So,
word. Good to know.
Yep.
Also, if you'd like to be a part of the show, all you have to do is leave us a question in the Twitch chat, and we will read it at the end of the show. If you want to be a part of next week's show, leave it in the YouTube comment section. Okay, I think we can get into it, guys. How's your week going?
It's good. I had a doctor appointment today. I haven't been to one of those in like 6 months, so it was cool. She didn't laugh at me as much as she usually does, and she just gave me a flu shot and sent me on my way. It was pretty good.
Okay.
It's a good way to spend my 10 o'clock break.
You healthy enough?
I think so.
Okay.
She did do a lot of like, I was just like, that doesn't sound good.
I got my flu shot way early this year, so and I'm reading this book or I'm actually listening to it on Audible called The Stand. It's about a deadly flu virus that wipes out vast majority of the population. It is extremely long. It's a 47-hour book or listen, and I am almost at the 10-hour mark, and I've already heard so much. So
That's crazy. That's a lot of stuff to stuff into a strand.
It's just insane the amount of words that this man has typed. He has had over 50 books now, and I'm finally getting around to getting into one, and pretty damn good so far.
Some Stephen King stuff right there, except probably a lot more factual, right? Is it based off like a...
No, it is Stephen King.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's his, I think it was his 4th book. I was doing some research on like best Stephen King books in order, and it usually is right up there with like The Shining and...
which one's this one?
It's called The Stand.
The Stand?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been made into a mini series in like 1994 on TV, which I think was supposed to be okay, but CBS All Access is actually doing it again.
Oh, nice.
So that's in development now. And I don't know when it's coming out, but I'll have heard it all. So
Nice.
what about you, Kenny? What's going on in your world?
Not much, honestly. We did hibachi. The family, they love it. The kids love it. I love it. The fiance, we all went over there.
Hibachi's so good.
What's the spot?
Yes, so Tokyo Asian Fusion.
Okay.
Yeah, so spot's great. I love it. We do the honey for two, me and the fiance. So it's just a bunch of, I think all the meats, pretty much, kind of split between both of us.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just been around the house watching the playoffs for football and just hanging out.
So when the kids are there, do you do sake bombs?
The sake bombs?
Or when they spray sake in your mouth?
Yeah, I do it.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we got to take a level with you, Trip, because I think it gets wild. Like, I could sit there, like, sometimes the guy has to move on from me.
Oh, that happened to me last time I was at one. I was going to say.
Because I could just keep going.
Yeah.
It's all about how you open the throat. You just let it go down.
You gotta let
it hits a little part of my tongue. I'm like, oh.
So we had a really funny guy who, a good hibachi chef will be, and he was going around the table, counting. He was like 1, 2, 3, and then he got to me and he stopped at 10. He's like, time to move on.
He's like, you do good job. Okay, I can keep moving.
Yeah, he's like, this stuff ain't free. It's cheap as shit, but yeah.
I do like the ones they give you at the restaurant because it tastes really sweet. It's like honey, so it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's real good.
No,
I think one time in Northampton, because I'm always the guy pounding on the table saying Saki.
Yeah, you are. You get pretty rowdy. Tyler goes out and he's like, Saki, gimme. And then fall asleep in the car ride home.
Yeah, I think it actually. Was it you when we were at Hibachi where he gave us the entire bottle of it and we were just passing it around the hibachi?
I think it was because it was all a bunch of just kids who like pretty much all they do is drink. It was me, you, Eric, Kristen. Who else? Who else was there? Was it Brandon, Matt? It was just a bunch of people there, and just we were passing it around, going crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was wild.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
That onion sauce, though. Oh, what's your preferred hibachi? Do you like chicken, steak, shrimp, fish, etc.?
I usually get seafood.
Yeah.
I think I'd really like the lobster when they cook up the lobster.
Hard to argue with lobster.
Yeah.
Lobster's real good. I go for like the chicken myself. I'm the chicken or steak kind of guy.
I'm a scallops guy.
Yeah. Scallops are good.
Scallops are right.
Surprised you like scallops.
Scallops are.
You seem to be a picky eater.
Really?
I was gonna say
most things,
the
unless it's
same
not like
thing.
peas or olives. I don't like olives or peas.
Or cheese.
Or well, plain cheese. I like cheese on stuff.
Yeah, you like okay.
So you don't like just so you don't just like cheese by itself.
No, but Wiley did. He gave me a slice. What was it? A couple weeks ago now. It was a nice slice of pepper jack with a cracker. That was good.
Yeah, which is
But it wasn't by
about
itself.
as entry level as you get.
It was with a cracker.
That counts. He's saying he likes it melted.
Yeah, like a Subway sandwich or a pizza or a cheeseburger or a cheese fries, nachos.
Okay.
What else?
I don't know. I think we might have to move on from his basic
mac
level.
and cheese.
Yeah, we got to
level
educate him a little
cheese,
bit, but that pepper jack was a good first step.
It was good. I like it. I like pepper jack.
Baby steps with you. Baby steps.
All right. As we said, guys, this is a video game podcast, and you will not leave disappointed. We are going to now talk about the games we've been playing over the past week. Now, it's the beginning of the year. There's not a lot coming out yet until March. We were just talking about it. It's going to get absolutely bonkers. We got Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7. What's that big one? Cyberpunk 2077.
The other one.
The other one.
The other one. The other one won.
The one. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
We've gone over what's coming out, but so I wanted to go back and play something a little old school. So for the first time, I'm playing the classic Super Nintendo game Earthbound. Yeah, so what inspired me to get into Earthbound was Kotaku.com. One of their guys over there, Tim Rogers, he puts out excellent, very funny, very long-form YouTube videos about different games and subjects. So he did one on the top 25 games of 1994. Hour-long video, really, really well done and funny and educational. And number one was Earthbound. So I had to go out and actually I already had it. So I was like, I have this game on the Super NES Classic. I've heard it's so good. And yeah, it's living up to the expectations so far.
It's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it because I'm really glad it's also way more available now. Like they had it on the WiiWare shop or they had it on the Wii U Network shop. Sadly, it hasn't come to Switch yet. I'm really hoping it does so I can play it when I poop like I do with all my other games. But I don't want to pay $400 for a physical cartridge. So I'm really glad they're making it more readily available to the audience out there.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, it is a 2D top-down JRPG that takes place in 1990s suburban America. You play as a young boy. You get to name him. His default name is Ness. You might know him from the Super Smash Brothers series. That's where he's kind of got his claim to fame as far as mainstream audiences go.
That's how I found out about him.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, same here. And so if you've played the game that came out, I think in 2014 now, Undertale, you'll be familiar with how the battles look, where you just see, and as well as Dragon Quest. A lot of JRPGs where you just see the monster on screen. You have your basic fight items, magic, that type of thing. But what I really like about this game's battle system is how quick it is. Like the animations, they look, everything is very snappy and responsive.
And the backgrounds are always moving. It's nice. So there's always something to catch your eye.
Yeah, definitely. And the battle music changes quite a bit as you move from area to area. So that's another thing that keeps the battles feeling fresh because there are a lot of them, being a JRPG from the 90s. The story, I feel like I had a thought and then I got trailed off. But
did you like the? I kind of like Earthbound a lot because it's almost like a D&D role playing aspect. Is the menus usually you're used to like the menus at the bottom of the screen. You get the whole top screen for like enemies and all that. But this one, your character's health bar is down at the bottom, and then you have this cool little dial back thing. which isn't about the D&D, but it's a nice little, it was touted for, it's like, oh, the rollback system. So it's like, even if your character gets dealt like a mortal hit, like more HP than he would, die, if you can make your turn in time and heal him, you can go right back up to like, heal yourself to stop you from dying.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
I
why
did
got that ticker.
Yeah, so the ticker is cool. So like your HP is displayed. If you get hit by attack, it starts rolling down, and then pretty much exactly what Anthony just said. I don't have to reiterate it, but it's just neat. If you use an item, you'll see it go down, and then it'll go back up, and it just looks very seamless. And it's a late Super Nintendo game. Came out in '95 in America, '94 in Japan. What's so impressive about the game though is its humor and its self-awareness, and it's for its time, it's breaking the fourth wall. Was not something video games did very much. There were not very many video games in that style that took place in modern day America, or modern day in general, that were not action shooters or whatever. And it's just funny. Like the writing is legit.
The localization team did a great job.
Yeah,
they did an absolutely amazing job. It was sad because I don't know if I told you guys about the first Earthbound or Mother 1 that we never got. Earthbound Beginnings we ended up getting. I think it was a Wii U network exclusive that they launched. It's really grind heavy. I definitely recommend playing the. It's like I think Earthbound Origins or it's something like that. If you just look up a ROM online, it's got a lot of modern day tweaks to kind of help it, rather than like a slow slog of not getting enough experience per battle. And it had these other things, but the English localization team got so into it that they ended up passing the like timeline or the lifetime of the NES, the original platform it came out on, because they wanted to put like a strategy guide with it and everything, which we saw in Earthbound and it got physically released. But they went like above and beyond and sadly never got released. We got it now on the Wii U shop digitally, but I mean, you could definitely see that all that love and care kind of definitely went over to Earthbound, thankfully.
Interesting.
Or the one we got.
Yeah, so the game is a sequel to the original Japanese game Mother, which I don't know, it doesn't feel like a sequel to me because
there's a lot of lore we don't like. It doesn't really reference anybody.
Okay.
Besides Gygus, maybe? The main villain, the one they talk about.
Right. And so the story from this, it's a very sort of, you are the chosen boy to save the world and you don't really know why, but they presented it in such a sort of tongue-in-cheek way that it has just a subversive vibe that I don't think that many other games at that time had. And that like the writing in it is so influential to what quote unquote quirky indie games that you see today, like whether that's Stardew Valley or Celeste or Undertale. It really inspired a certain generation of creators that are now making like some of the coolest stuff today.
Yeah.
So like now I'm only I'm got to be close to the 7 or 8 hour mark, maybe 10 hours.
You're like pretty much way past elbow, a little bit of shoulder in, like not full chest yet though, but you're in there.
Okay.
you're about to be full chest when you get Jeff.
Okay,
so.
Cool. Yeah, so I have 2 out of there were 4 party members. It took a long time to get that first party member.
Yeah,
man.
it takes a while.
It took a while. I was like, I'm doing this tonight, and then I wasn't in bed until 2 o'clock in the morning on a freaking work night playing Earthbound.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yep. Paula's worth it though. She's the healer. Her attacks are great. But what sucks? Did she start from level 1 too?
She does. So
that's what I forgot. I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, but it only took probably half an hour of grinding to get her. Now she's 10 behind Ness or so. Yeah,
she'll get up there.
Yeah,
she'll hit those guys. Plus, have you gotten to an area yet where you've hit weaker enemies and you're stronger than them?
Yes.
And you kill them automatically?
That is nice. Yeah, and what another thing I love about the game is after you get to the end of an area and you defeat the boss and you walk back through, the enemies run from you.
Yeah,
you can still fight them, but they usually are trying to like bum rush you, and you can't avoid them a lot of the time. So they might as well be a randomized battle.
Yeah.
But it just you feel a great sense of power when you're walking through, and these like, mighty bears that were like,
trying to beat you up. They're just cowering. It's like, run, you ants, run.
Yeah.
And it's just like Neth is there with his quirky little smile. I love the sprite. The sprites in that game are just, oh my god.
And the music's so good. It really is just like a total package of a excellent game. I mean, it has the thing where I'm having to look up where to go next sometimes because, in the classic old school JRPG fashion, there's no waypoint pointing you in the next direction. So like, you have to talk to this specific character standing next to this building in order for the event to happen, and you might be wandering around for half an hour. So
you don't have a map either, which sucks. Well, not
all the time.
Yeah, for the main cities, thankfully. But.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope that I can stick with it and it seems like it's going to be a pretty long game if I'm only 25% of the way there or less. I don't know.
It's mainly grinding, which is the longest part, because once you get those new members, you have to get them up, and then it takes, you have a decent level. You go through the newest dungeon, you encounter enemies higher level, grind up so you don't die. The problem you are having where you go in, you're like, all right, I'm in the dungeon. If I'm not paying 100% attention, then one of these guys is dead, and I got to walk all the way back to the hospital, revive them.
Yeah.
So they get experience.
I have been playing on the Super NES Classic, and there have been a couple battles where I've save scummed and been like, I do not want to try this again. Like, well, and it can just, get to the save point right before the battle starts, and it's the beauty of modern times.
It's true.
So yeah, I know that's not a hot off the presses game to start off the decade, but I thought it was one that would be worth talking about. So.
Very.
What about you, Kenny? What you been up to? I see some Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet.
I want to hear all about it. I kept texting like 3 times this week. I was like, Kenny, how's Fatal Bullet? So you're playing Fatal Bullet.
Yeah. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. The stories in the Sword Art games are, at least from my standpoint, aren't the best or the greatest storylines, but the gameplay is pretty good. It's not bad. It's a third-person shooter. Has the RPG elements. You level up, you gain certain skills to help you out during battles. I am finding myself where, at times I gotta switch out certain guns and make sure I'm paying attention to what bullets they use, because sometimes I'll equip a gun, head into the battlefield, and have no bullets for it, because it's handgun. I thought it was just handgun bullets, but then you find out there's different bullet types. There's high speed handgun bullets, there's regular handgun bullets, there's high powered ones, so it's kind of gets in depth with those bullet types, but they have a nice selection of weapons you could pick from. Your party, of course, right now I'm running around with my created character, my AI, the partner I get at the beginning, and Kirito.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Is he in his girl form like he is in GGO? Like his girl avatar?
No, he actually looks more like his avatar in regular.
Yeah.
In Aincrad. Yep. And it's not too bad. So a lot of what I'm doing right now, main story wise, is trying to find parts for my AI, because it starts off with a tutorial mission where you go about it. You're going through this dungeon. You're being taught how to play in this game because you're new to this game, this VR MMO. And when you get to the end of it, you actually beat out Kirito to the rare treasure at the end of the dungeon.
Is he the protagonist from the show?
From the show, yep. Okay. And then what it ends up being is the AI. So the AI was added with this major update to the game, to the GGO game, and you're kind of just rolling around with this super rare AI that everybody wants from you. Okay. So you got one guy who comes up to you and he challenges you to a PvP battle.
So this is can you explain what the premise of the show is, Sword Art Online?
So it evolves.
Yeah.
From season 1. Okay. So season 1 is the death game, where they get trapped in this VR MMO. They can't exit until someone clears the game, and the game is 100 floors. Right. So they have to clear floor 100 to exit the game, and when you die in the game, you die permanently in real life. Mm-hmm. So it goes from there into another saga where it's don't
spoil that.
No, I know.
Okay.
So you haven't seen it. So it goes from there into another one, and then from there into this Gun Gale Online, which is GGO.
Starts off season 2.
That's season 2. That's how season 2 starts off. And right now, I'm currently watching season. Would you say it's 3?
It's got to be like what Alice's Asian.
Alice is
3 or 4. Yeah,
3.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
So I'm watching that one right now. So
is the premise of the game some premise of the first season? Clear 100 floors.
So not this one, because this one is in season 2. So
they've tried doing
one of the games is that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that's it was like Hollow Fragment, Hollow Realization. It's oh my god. I think it was for Hollow, PSP. Yeah, yes. It was terrible.
So that one you get to finish the rest of the floors, in the game. So you get to start off maybe floor 70, I think, and go from floor 70 all the way to 100, and actually be able to finish off the last 30 floors, and with some extra areas that weren't in the show. You get to do that in that game. So the games kind of follow the seasons, and depending on which season.
Is it a recent game?
The Fatal Bullet, yes. I want to say within the last year.
Within the last year.
Okay. So, and it was just added. So how I'm playing it via The Game Pass, which
Okay.
you know we're gonna get into after what we've been playing about what recent releases are. It just dropped within the last week for Game Pass.
Cool. It's amazing. Just stuff keeps on dropping.
It keeps on dropping. So, and honestly, I'm on the Twitter for Game Pass. I'm following them, and they really don't even sometimes give a heads up. Like it's the day of, and they'll be like, "Oh, more games come in. Here's what games just dropped today on Game Pass."
It's pretty sick.
So, it's been amazing, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Definitely want to sign up for it again.
You should
Get my fix.
get on it.
Busy Friday, though,
because
so I'm gonna put it back.
because I am enjoying Fatal Bullet to the point where I might pick up the DLC.
See, oof. Then I might just get the physical game at that point. If you're getting the DLC, I'll just go out and buy it.
So
You're on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Game Pass.
So if you do it, let me know.
I will.
Because like that we could play the DLC. Hopefully we could play some sort of part of the DLC together.
That'd be sick.
'Cause
I'm
I
pretty
was
sure they have
looking
like
into
an online mode.
I think it's what it sounded like from the achievements. You can get up to level 270.
I love that. I love huge
Yeah.
level caps.
Oh, me too. Right now my characters are
Just like Bloodborne's around that.
So one mechanic that I find interesting is that you gain all your XP while you're out on the battlefield doing missions and killing enemies and killing unique enemies and all these things, but you don't level up with their gun, all that stuff.
Did you? Can you be like a class in that? Can you choose like?
You can kind of choose your play style. Like if you want to be a long range, you know, you might fit your skill sets towards being long range and just using a sniper. Or you could kind of get up close and personal with a sword like Kirito does in the show.
You get the little lightsaber sword. Oh, that's cool. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely fun. If you pick it up, let me know.
I will. I know. I definitely want to look into it. It went on sale, but it's been ridiculously expensive for the longest time. It's been stayed at like a solid $40-$50 since it was released.
Interesting.
So
So that's Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Moving on, I want to talk about a couple things that I mentioned last week or previous shows. I said I was going to beat Jedi Fallen Order, and what did I do? I beat Jedi Fallen Order.
it's good.
Nice.
So keep with the resolution.
Yep. Well, the number one, first game beat of 2020. Many more to come.
How many ponchos did you get?
And by the end, I think I was in the high teen, low 20 poncho range.
Did you get all of them?
No, it's not. I don't think I'm going to go back and 100% this one. Mainly because, like I talked about, I think it's a little much to ask of the player to not have fast travel, especially after beating the game. I understand it, but I just am not into it enough to pursue that at this time. But I do think the game wraps up pretty strongly. It's got really great boss fights, just sort of 1v1 saber versus saber style. There's a pretty good one against a giant flying monster thing, which is near the end as well. Story stays good. I really like the bond that your crew seems to have. Cal, I think, is a really chastised character for I don't know why.
Is he just getting picked on by the community a lot? Is everyone like,
Yeah.
oh, what a nerd and what a Melvin, bad.
Yeah, or like we're boring generic protagonists. Like I think he shows some good emotion in the scenes and is able to convey his.
I think people that say that should go watch Sword Art Online and look at Kirito and then get back to us on that one.
But yeah, I think it is an excellent Star Wars Souls light, and if you haven't played it yet, and you definitely should. So,
What did you like better? Double lightsaber or regular lightsaber?
so if I had to pick one, I would. It's tough. They're both like really equally useful. So the double lightsaber is excellent at crowd control. It has this great move. You double tap R2 and you kind of throw it around for a second and do a little radius. But if you're doing a 1v1 fight and you can stagger an opponent and you press R2 with a single lightsaber, you do like a Ichimonji move from Sekiro. It's literally the exact same move where you just do an overhead slash, and you can upgrade that to where you can do 2 in a row, and that does big damage.
That's awesome.
So I was using them pretty equally.
Okay.
And then once you get to a certain point in the game, I guess that's a spoiler. I won't say that. And then what else? Still playing Call of Duty. Still into that. I'm a dumbass, and I just realized that I can save and name my gun variations. I've been like switching them every
loadouts.
time. Yeah, like I've been having loadouts, Anthony. I'm not that dumb.
I'm sorry. I didn't know there was more than loadouts. I thought the loadouts were the personalized ones that you could save.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, they are. So, but I just have had my 5 that you get, but then you can actually save specific guns and name them. And I was like, It's a very small
like
icon.
with the attachments that you add to it, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am now way more into building out my arsenal and, you know, having my PKM that I like just this way and my MK or the carbine that I like a lot. I also delved into gun game.
I wanted to
Gun
hear
game's
because
fun.
I know that while I was streaming yesterday, you kind of put it out in the chat that you were like, hey, have you guys tried gun game?
It's sick.
Is
It's-
it?
Yeah, like so it's you start off with
That's when we start with a smaller, like the handgun,
start with a
and
pistol.
then you build up. From
Yeah, and
there.
as soon as you drop the enemy, like it just changes in your changes in your hand, and your upgrade to, you know, a shotgun. And then it's funny because everybody at one point is going to have to get a rocket launcher kill, and that gets chaotic. And a lot of times it's hard to get a rocket launcher kill because they're so slow. So it feels really satisfying when you just like get the rocket launcher, turn around, and boom,
I love those
move
moments.
on to the next one. So yeah, that's still awesome. Picked up Rogue Legacy on the Switch.
How you
And that
like it?
game is just kicking my ass. Oh my god, it's so hard. It's so hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah, so I have attempted probably close to 10 runs now, and I think my longest one was 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's I think mine was like 10. That's
Yeah.
all I got. Like the first 5 rooms. And just,
Yeah, so the you know, it has a very long upgrade system. Like you can upgrade your health 75 times, you can upgrade your sword 75 times, and magic, etc. It's meant to be something that you keep coming back to. It's got these. It's a 2D action platformer, randomized castle that you're supposed to get through. It controls so tightly. It's a really charming and was very influential to this generation of games. Came out in 2013, I think, ported to Switch last year. So it's a great platform for it. I picked it up for $5 on sale. I'll probably give it another few. I don't know. Depends on how I do. I can get a little frustrated with roguelikes, but
yeah, that one is very frustrating because it's Castlevania, but like you're going to die very soon and quickly.
And now we have a. Oh, did you have any other games we wanted to talk about?
Oh, so I did want to mention
Okay.
that Ghost Recon Breakpoint kind of went back to it.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Been playing the story and all that good stuff, but we did try the raid.
Oh, did you?
And we had a random. It was me, my buddy from Florida, and my stepdaughter's dad. We're all three. We jumped in with a random to try and do the raid.
4-player raids.
4-player raids.
Okay.
Random kind of got sick and tired because the other two died. Me and the random were alive, and we were trying to head to the next point to try and investigate. He got frustrated and left us. So then we try to go about the rest of the raid, just 3 people, even though it kept flashing in our screen saying it's not insufficient amount of players, and we were just getting owned like by enemies. Like we're talking, it says that the minimum gear score requirement is like 150 to enter a raid. We were bumping into people that were above 200 gear score enemies.
Wow. And what's your gear score?
My gear score was I went into bare minimum, like 160.
Okay.
My stepdaughter's dad was he is about 205.
Okay.
My buddy from Florida, I think he's 180. So I was kind of the least one, but I was still kind of holding my own, because most of it, they kind of get frustrated with me because I set my assault rifles. I'll roll around my assault rifle and I'll set it to single fire because I'm looking for headshots. Because no matter the gear score, if you get headshots, it's an automatic kill.
Wow.
They get dropped.
Even like the really hard enemies in a raid.
Well, not the really hard enemies. Well,
And what does the game have besides people?
I haven't bumped into really hard enemies in the raid because because the enemies were just being respawned constantly, and we were at one point in time we were flanked from every side to the point where we were held up in a little house, tower thing, and we were like, if we pop our heads, we're getting sniped. If we try to exit, we're getting mowed down before we can even get into cover again. Like, it was very frustrating how we got pinned down. And I was like, wow, you could tell because we couldn't do the objective. We came to find the objective and we just couldn't do it because we didn't have the 4th person. Because you had to do like multiple.
You had to all stand on one platform and
Something like that.
Okay, so it does have puzzle aspects like raids do.
Yep.
Okay.
So it has this puzzle aspect. So it's not just the human enemies. It's also drones, like the robots and these
Okay,
things.
I forgot about robots.
Yep. So it gets frustrating. It definitely gets frustrating, and I'm like, wow,
So what does it have periodic loot drops throughout it?
So as you kill enemies, they'll drop loot, and it was definitely a great way. Like being in the raid, even though we couldn't really progress through it that well, killing those enemies and getting the loot, I started going up gear score pretty quickly.
Okay, so
and
not a waste of time.
So it wasn't a waste of time completely, and it was good to kind of get the feel of it and see what it is. And I'm kind of excited because we were working on rounding out our four-man crew for the raid because I think. One of the guys, his friend is kind of working his way to get the minimum gear score as well.
Okay.
So that we could just run it.
That's cool.
You know,
I really wish. I mean, at this point, would you recommend the game? Because I know it's got such a mixed reception.
Yeah, I enjoy it. You know, I think so right now. So what I did, we were playing it on extreme. So if we're not careful, we're gonna die. So it doesn't feel easy. I think that's where we're finding our challenge and our enjoyment is having to really go in somewhere, scout it out, and really say, okay, this is how we're gonna take them out.
Okay.
You know, so if you're gonna look at it like that and play with somebody, I think you get the enjoyment from playing with others and maybe setting the difficulty higher and just
Thinking Man's Murder Simulator.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So that way I would recommend that. And honestly, for the pricing, last time I checked, I think GameStop had it for $20.
Oh, word.
So if it's still 20 at GameStop, I recommend it.
Well, maybe they'll turn it around just like Ubisoft has with other games in the past.
And the Terminator mission hasn't dropped yet, so they're dropping a mission where you gotta hunt down
that movie
and kill,
flopped like
and kill
5
the
months
Terminator.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
because
anyway.
they had success in Wildlands with the Predator, where you had to hunt down the Predator. I tried that mission on Wildlands when it got dropped, and I couldn't kill the Predator.
Really.
Yeah.
And they also did a Sam Fisher thing towards the end. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So they're pretty good with the extra content they drop into these games.
Okay, nice. Anything else before we hear a message from our sponsor?
You been playing anything, Tyler?
No, I haven't been playing too much. Pretty much the big thing that I've jumped into a little bit is I played a little bit of Realm Royale is what it's called. It's the Battle Royale game that came out back in January, and you was laughing at.
Just how you told us to look over here.
Yeah,
when you
we're
were
just I'm looking at you.
Here I am.
You're also a trash can, in my view.
So I truly believe, Tyler, I think we're gonna have an intervention with you and get you away from playing these crappy games with Diener.
Oh, does he rage a lot?
No, I mean he's actually been winning a lot of games, but I kind of think it's just because not a whole lot of people are playing.
Because Realm Royale was mostly like 8-year-olds, Tyler.
Well, probably.
Oh, is that the one you showed me on Friday? The one with you got the wacky heads and stuff?
No, I think that was Cuisine Royale.
Let-
Cuisine Royale. Oh my god.
set the stage,
I'll have to check
Tyler.
the Realm
What
Royale.
is this game?
I need to, because it sounds really familiar.
Yeah, it's a Fortnite kind of aesthetic. It's a regular battle royale, 100-player game. You're going around, but instead of it's kind of like Apex in a way, but rather than starting off with abilities, you're collecting new abilities and you're swapping out abilities for other things. So you can get an ability where you'll blink and teleport forward, or you'll
He's raging right now.
Yeah, sorry, we're just hearing Tyler's roommate Diener yell at a video game upstairs, I think.
and he's I guarantee he's playing Realm Royale right now.
I think he said, I'm at the door! I'm at the door!
Yeah, those guys are insane when they play it.
Gameplay.
But overall, I mean, it's actually not a bad game. It's pretty fun if you have a group of people to jump in with, and so you know how you'll down people. When you down people, you'll they turn into chickens, and then as a chicken, they can float away and dash and stuff like that. So and then in order to take them out, you take out the chickens.
Okay.
And then you're able to revive them at what they call forges. And at the forge, you can craft. So as you're looting items, you can deconstruct them to get shards. And the shards can be used to make health potions, armor potions, epic weapons, epic runes, epic grenades.
So there are swords and spells?
There are, yep.
Well, okay.
I wonder if we're going to get away from Epic next generation.
Epic.
Epic and Legendary.
And no, rare.
It'll just be like colors. Purples.
What's it going to be called?
I don't know.
Purple's
Exotic
goats.
is much cooler. I don't know if Destiny is the first game that introduced that, but it's one that introduced it to me. But
I kind of don't mind it just because it's so well, like, it's just so used. It's used so much, but for the same kind of like term where it's like rare, super rare, ultra rare.
yeah, a common,
Legendary, rare.
uncommon, common, rare,
Yeah.
legendary, epic. Some like games sometimes flip flop, which is rarer, legendary, or
Exactly.
epic.
Super rare, legendary.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend that game, Tyler?
For a game that's a year old now at this point, sure,
Oh.
why not?
Is it free to play?
It's free to play. Yep.
Is it on consoles as well as PC?
Yeah, it is cross-platform.
Ooh.
Realm Royale.
Realm
If
Royale.
you're tired of Fortnite and want to play bootleg Fortnite, check out.
I want to
There-
check it
there-
out. I
there's
like,
no
I like
building.
the concept of spells and swords. And do you get avatar customization, level up?
Yeah,
all that stuff?
they got battle passes and things, the whole 9 yard, and but yeah, there's no building, which is why I like it.
I was gonna say, okay, that sounds pretty good already.
Screw Fortnite in its building.
Is it on Switch so I don't have to listen to all the little kids talk?
I don't know. Not sure if it is.
It's okay.
All right.
And now a time for the long-awaited message from our sponsors. We are proud to have Focus Springfield Community TV as a partner and a Level With You sponsor. Through providing faculty or facilities, equipment, and training, Focus shines a light on positive stories in Springfield and creates a space for communities to connect. Learn more about Focus and what they do at focusspringfield.com and on Instagram at Focus Springfield. Thanks, Focus Springfield. That's Massachusetts, not Missouri. And now it is time for...
Oh, that's mine. Cruising for a new thing.
Cruising for News, and the part of the show where we read back to you the biggest stories of the video game week and discuss like the semi-pros that we are. So first up on the list, I thought this was a big deal, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Xbox Series X will not launch with exclusives. This is from a website called mcvuk.com, an interview with head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty. As our content comes out over the next 2 years, all of our games, sort of like PC, will play up and down that family of devices, Booty explains. We want to make sure that if someone invests in an Xbox between now and Series X, that they feel they made a good investment and that we're committed to them with content. And that means it's also unlikely that there will be much pressure, from Microsoft at least, on third-party publishers to turn out hardware-exclusive titles for the relatively small day one audience of Xbox Series X. In short, Microsoft is rewriting the rules of the console launch. Of course, the company will still be wanting to show off its new hardware to best effect. Our approach is to pick 1 or 2 IP that we're going to focus on and make sure that they're at the launch of the console, taking advantage of all the features. And for us, that's going to be Halo Infinite, which is a big opportunity. So what this means, if you missed it, is that the games that are going to be coming out on Xbox Series X, which is the next-gen Xbox, will also be playable on the Xbox One. What do we think?
It's cool. It has to do probably with the backwards compatibility of it. So, I mean...
Well, it's forward compatibility. So it's saying that your system that came out in 2013 is going to be able to play games that were quote-unquote designed for the Series X.
That'll be interesting. I hope it doesn't let them or give them an out to like cut a lot of corners with stuff. Like, well, we could only make the game so we could run it on both hardwares.
Exactly.
So I like it because I think it doesn't put the pressure on people to feel as though you have to come out the gate and right away buy the Series X. I think they're what they're doing. They're taking a less aggressive approach instead of saying, "Oh, if you didn't buy the new console, then you're shit out of luck with this game." No, let's ease you in because the Series X is going to be around for a long time. So we're going to give you this window. We're going to give you 6 to 12 months, 18 months to kind of catch up and put your money, decide if you're going to trade in your Xbox One and upgrade to the Series X. And you'll be able to then start playing the newer games at the full capacity, but you can still play them. And not how they were intended, but to some extent.
It's crazy though. It's so consumer friendly that like these games that are going to be, Halo Infinite, you pay $10 a month, you sign up for Game Pass for $3 for whatever month, whatever crazy promotion they've got going at that time, they're gonna be able to play this, latest and greatest Halo game. My first thought was concern because of it not taking advantage of the hardware, and developers having to developed for 2 SKUs, and if they're going to be a pretty like it's different PS4 to PS4 Pro. This is like a whole generational shift. If it's going to be able to be played on an Xbox from 2013, and now it's going up against the Series X, it feels like that's going to be holding it back in some ways. And I hope that I can be proven wrong on that, but it seems kind of unavoidable.
Yeah.
So
That's what my concern was as well, in terms of the developers and the game designers. Same thing as you were saying, Wiley, is why make every single game for the next 2 years be compatible with old software, or not software, old hardware, where you could be, I don't know, reaching upwards of 8K or whatever it's saying that you can now play with Series X. Things like that. I mean, you don't want it to hold developers back, but you also don't want to hold the users at back.
Right.
So I think the approach that they taken with the Series X allows them to do this, because remember that the Series X is going to be able to play every Xbox game throughout the life of it, from the original one up. So it's not.
That's amazing.
So they're not. So it's like telling studios you're not actually making the game for two consoles. You know, because the Series X, if you make it literally for Xbox One, the Series X will still play it. You know, but if you make it where, you know, they have these enhancements for when you have the Xbox One X, you have this extra update that you download for some games, which is the One X enhancement update that you don't get with a regular S or the other one. That's a big something. I think with The Witcher 3, I think the upgrade enhancement file was like maybe like a 20 gigabyte thing.
Okay.
Where it brought it up like immensely. Like some people say the game already looked amazing, but it brought it up to a point where you were like, wow, like I didn't know it could even get better.
Okay.
You know, so it could go that route where with the Series X there's just an update an extra update to the game where it brings it up to kind of higher frame rates, you know, better visuals, but it's the same game.
It's just, I think you put it well earlier when you said that it is a less aggressive approach, because a lot of rumors are coming out that the Series X might cost $600, $500 or $600, and if they're still wanting the One to be a viable thing for a few years, and that's out of some people's price ranges, or they're not that hardcore of a gamer and they still want to play the new stuff, you know, it's interesting. It is sort of rewriting the rules. And we still have not heard much from Sony, and that leads us into our next story. Sony will once again be skipping E3. Sad violin music. So I was looking forward to Sony making its big comeback, coming out guns blazing at E3, but no. So this story is via gamesindustry.biz. And this quote, let's see, is from a smart PlayStation man. After thorough evaluation, SIE has decided not to participate in E3 2020, Sony said. We have great respect for the ESA as an organization, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year. In lieu of attending E3, Sony says it will be, quote-unquote, participating in hundreds of consumer events across the globe this year to promote PS4 and PS5 games. Our focus is on making sure fans feel part of the PlayStation family and have access to play their favorite content. We have a fantastic lineup of titles coming to the PS4, and with the upcoming launch of PS5, we are truly looking forward to a year of celebration with our fans. While E3 has traditionally been a major venue for video game and console reveals, this wouldn't be the first time Sony has... Back in 2013, Sony officially pulled back the curtain on the PS4 during a special PlayStation media event instead of E3. It's possible that the company will host another such event to divulge more details about the PS5 sometime this year. So, what does this mean for Sony? What does it mean for E3?
Surprise drops. So they're probably just going for more than Nintendo. Like, hey, surprise! Here's a, you know, or like, well, they'll do like the PlayStation Direct thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do we think that E3 at this point,
It's
like, where is it going to be in 5 years?
I think I don't know. I really don't see E3 being as what it used to be in 5 years. You know, like so I don't think Sony's gonna go back.
You don't think they'll ever go back?
No.
At this point, it's kind of starting to feel that way.
Did they say a reason for leaving, or are they just kind of like?
No,
I mean, besides,
I mean,
it's not
other
an
than that-
it's not an avenue or revenue right now or venue.
Yeah, I mean, it's super expensive, obviously, to put on that type of show. There's lots of expectations. You've got competition, other people trying to vie for their attention with the increase in streaming technologies and being able to reach the consumer in a plethora of ways. I mean, it makes sense, but I am just, I look forward to E3 every year. I think the Sony press conference is kind of the most big deal out of all of them because I'm most into that ecosystem, or I have been for a long time. So I was disappointed. I mean, it worries me a little bit hearing about Sony says it will be participating in hundreds of consumer events across the globe. Like, what does that really mean? Like, they're going to be driving around with a PS5 truck, letting you come play it. Like, I hope they have at least some sort of, like...
big event.
Exactly. Like, blow the lid off the thing. It costs this much. We're showing you this game. It's 3 terabytes.
Are they trying to... Maybe they're trying to be more like, we're not going to, like, compete in the console war anymore. It's like, that one year where they came up and the guy... They announced what was the original price of like the Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then the guy from PlayStation just walks up and goes like $299, and then just walks away. I forget what year that was.
Are you talking about the announcement of the PS4?
It might have been whatever the price reveal was. I think it was the PS4.
That was $399, but
yeah.
I can't say that I know what you're referring to.
He basically just did like a mic drop. It was the Xbox guy came up and he like did his whole spiel and then said how much the price was going to be, and everyone was like, wow. And then the PlayStation representative went up to the microphone and then like basically just did a whole. It was really it was a lot cheaper, maybe like $100 to $200 cheaper than what Microsoft had stated.
Okay.
And then all he said was the price and then walked off stage.
No, I think
Everybody freaked.
I think Sony is going back to the earliest parts of this generation, 2013, 2014. They were like super into their indie dev relationships. They were promoting that type of stuff. They were, big. We're for the gamers. We're about games. And now they're kind of like up in their ivory tower, publishing 2 or 3 super expensive AAA games per year. The Horizon Zero Dawns, the Spider-Mans, the God of Wars, get lots of critical acclaim, sell really well. They got, partnerships with third parties like Activision to get, exclusive stuff for Destiny or Call of Duty. And they kind of seem a little tightened up, a little buttoned up. They're certainly not as forward-facing their fans as Microsoft has been lately.
They're not for the people right now.
No, they're not for the people right now. No, they're.
I'm all Xbox. I'm all Xbox in, man. I have been for a while, and I think honestly, they might just be looking at it as like it's not worth the cost. Maybe we'll put on live streams, like you were saying. There's so many avenues that they go with. Why put on a big ruckus, at E3? It costs us more to do that than to just live stream and drop these videos on YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they can keep it up next gen. I think that it's going to be very interesting. We're in the first week of 2020, or first month of 2020, and we're already getting all this next gen buzz. It's exciting, guys.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's going to be a crazy time to see what happens.
Yeah. All right, now we have a sad story for our third story. Square Enix delays.
I like that, Scare Enix. Be a good Halloween name for him.
Delays FF7. No, you're good. You gotta brighten it up sometime. Just these dry ass news stories being read by Wiley.
Well, the sad. Yeah. It's the Final Fantasy VII remake is getting pushed back. I am very sad, but I also agree with that, mainly because also the demo got leaked and someone who data mined the demo found the whole game. They put the whole game in the demo, so they were able to play the full.
What?
Yeah, that was a recent thing that happened. I meant to write that down, but I didn't do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did they say when it ends? Don't say it.
No, I didn't look into it because I was like, because a lot of people that I saw that were talking about it were like, if you don't want spoilers, don't look into it like at all. And I was like, wow. I'm gonna be a good boy, take a step back.
And honestly, I think the delay.
I didn't even say what happened though.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So the delay is so FF7 remake is gonna get delayed from March 3rd to April 10th.
Yeah.
So I that's only a month. Only a month, and take it, polish the game, make sure you're dropping the game people deserve. Even though you're not dropping the game people deserve, part 1 is at least polished. Like, we don't want part 1 out of a 5-part game, right, that you're dropping.
They
have
haven't said how
glitches.
many parts.
Yeah,
that's a
it could literally be like 5. It could be 7, whatever it is. 7. That's Final Fantasy 7. You know.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Imagine the price tag on 7 parts.
Yeah,
oh my
exactly.
God. But in reality, it's a month delay, and take it, polish the game, make sure we don't got any head missing glitches. Like last thing I want is Cloud's head not being where it's supposed to be, and it's just teeth and eyeballs floating, a la Assassin's Creed Unity. You know?
can take something else off Tifa floating around, but I mean, as long as they have a lot of good physics they incorporate in there, come on, man.
Exactly.
One thing though that somebody mentioned in a podcast I was listening to earlier is that now it comes out 2 weeks before Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah.
So now people are going to have to pick and choose which one do I really want to sink my teeth into.
And I truly believe you'll have the fandom that's going to flock to Final Fantasy 7, but when it comes to it, still not the full game. So I think people would rather flock to Cyberpunk 2077.
For sure. I think it's going to be a bigger game overall.
Definitely.
And the other delay I think we received was the Avengers game being published by Square Enix and being worked on by Crystal Dynamics.
Yep.
It's being pushed back from May to September.
That's substantial.
Which I believe they needed to. I think they were rushing it because when I was first looking into this game, they were like showing off these screenshots to it and like these little gameplay videos, and they were just hiring their creative director for the game. So I was like, wait a second. It was alarming to me because I was like, you're this far into development but don't even have your creative director for the game.
Yeah.
And you're rushing for this date like this. In my eyes, it looked like it was gonna get delayed from the beginning. To hear the delay, I'm not surprised.
Oh, I'm not surprised, but where I come at it from is that it just seems so odd we have next gen consoles releasing 2 months after this game comes out, and this is one of those games that has like roadmaps. You know, like 6 months from now you're gonna get this. It's supposed to be a live service game where you're getting loot, customizing your different Avengers and shit like that, and it just seems like super late in a console cycle to be coming out with a game like that. I mean, you do have the thing about Xbox is doing with the forward compatibility and, you know, backwards compatibility and yada yada. So it may be on, but like
I think I see where you're going with it, and I foresee a second delay.
You foresee a second delay where they just say fuck
it's next gen, where it gets pushed into PS5, Series X, because of the reason you're pointing out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real at the tail end of this cycle of the consoles, and they're really gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, let's go full on with what the next gen consoles can do. Let's up it up. You know, I think at that point in time, I think people like Marvel Studios might step in and be like, listen, you're dropping our property, so either take advantage of the next gen what you guys have and really make a great game and push this back. You know, because they're not going to want their property. They're
in the oven for so long now.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, I think that's the best course of action. It's just push it up, because why drop it? And I understand a lot of people might not be picking up the new consoles right away because of the price tag. We still don't know the price tag, but they're touting these powerful machines. So we're going to be up there in the 500s, 600s. You know, not everybody's going to be able to get those consoles at that price tag.
If they hit $399 again, that's going to be impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Swear to God, they hit $399. I'm gonna plug my shit in and it's gonna explode. You know, like something must be wrong. If they're touting all this power and it's $399, come on, what's wrong? In this?
Yeah, cheaper than the One X. It really doesn't make sense.
You could buy a
They gotta be
Soldier game
500.
handheld for that much money. I want quality.
Exactly. And even that, we have, you know, I know that some rumors are even talking about next gen consoles. Did you hear about the rumor of the Switch Pro? I know this off topic, but I definitely think we're gonna get the second delay on this. We'll stay tuned on Avengers, but second delay, don't be surprised if it rolls around.
All right, we'll see. Come September or sooner. All right, what do we got coming up next? We got a big old Pokemon drop, read by our one and only Pokemon master, Anthony George.
Can I say, you know? But I was very excited to catch this. I was glad Tyler ended up texting the group chat that morning, because I had totally spaced it, and then I was sitting down at my desk and was like, whoa, there's a live stream for Pokemon. So I got to sit there and like watch the first like 10 minutes before, and then when it dropped, it was cool. I liked it. They started off with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Remake. like the original two, the one for Game Boy Advance, Red Rescue Team, and then Blue Rescue Team for the DS. They're combining those and remaking them into one Switch game now, which I don't think will be out.
I never even heard of those games, or I completely forgot about them.
I couldn't get into them. I mean, and they're like the Mystery Dungeon formula, which is pretty much like it's a straight up dungeon crawler. So you have your basic like JRPG town. You go in between missions, or when you go to the dungeons, you stock up items and stuff. They have a bank usually for when you die, or just in case you die, because usually in those type of games, when you die, you either lose like straight up everything, like all your money, all your items, or you lose like half of it. So they have a bank you can kind of go store your stuff in, and if you're not adept to that style, it gets really frustrating very quickly because you kind of don't feel like you're making a lot of progress at first.
Are you catching Pokemon?
That's the thing I never really got about it. You fill out a questionnaire at the beginning, and that determines what Pokemon you start as. You get you as a human get turned into a Pokemon in a world of just Pokemon, and so it's like you have you as a random starter Pokemon that is generated from the questionnaire, and then like a partner from that game.
So my question is, what Pokemon do they pick for the cashiers?
That's right.
For the what?
For to be the cashiers in the mart or in the markets and stuff like that. Like if everything's Pokemon, somebody has to be selling you the potions, right?
Oh yeah, so it's like Delibird and like Chansey.
Okay,
I've never heard somebody pronounce it cashier.
Yeah, I was just like, wait a minute. I was like cashier. I was like, because I thought
I don't hate it. I kind of like it.
No, that's good. It's just a weird concept because I'm like, I think Pokemon. I think like trainers, like battling, catching. This is, I guess you can get. I don't even know if you evolve. I'm not big into the Mystery Dungeon, so I was just like, whatever. I don't really care. It's neat.
Is it like the Chocobo Mystery Dungeon game?
Exactly.
Right back, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
No problem.
It's exactly like Chocobo Mystery Dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. But you have that like a Pokemon partner. And Chocobo Mystery Dungeon reminds me. I really want to.
I wanted to pick that up.
Yeah.
So for the PS4, I did want to pick it up.
It came out on the PS4.
Yeah.
Like the original PlayStation one, or like a remake?
Like the last one, they had dropped the one not that long ago for PS4 and the Switch, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon game.
Oh, was it like All Friends Are Here or something like that? Yeah, okay, I did see that in the shop. I wanted to pick up the one for the Wii, like go back and play the one for the Wii. So I remember seeing that on the shelf all the time when I worked at GameStop, and I was like, oh, I'd pick that up, and I just never did, because I was like, I don't care.
Okay, so talk to me a bit about this. So I know that the expansion pass is $30, right?
It's $30, but they're rolling it out in two separate waves. The first one, it's just, I like it. I'm personally on the side of I like that they're doing this. They're like really making Sword and Shield a live service game, rather than like, okay, we're just gonna roll out a whole another new game you got to pay $60 for.
So that's how I was feeling. I know I was having some conversations on Facebook with a couple people about this, and I was saying, they were like, oh, $30 for things that should have been in the game, and I was like, well, how many times have you bought the $60 new game, which is just parts of both mixed in together with a different Pokemon on the cover?
Exactly. It's the same thing with like maybe 20 more minutes of extra story. Like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I did that. I did it for years, and I feel like this is
a
better.
way better fan service. I think this is more pleasing to the consumer. I think going with a $30 expansion.
Oh yeah.
And from what I'm reading is that the 200 Pokemon that are being added, you don't need the expansion
to buy it.
to access those Pokemon, or be traded those Pokemons, etc.
Exactly.
So how can you complain about this? Like,
it's really good, and they were adding a bunch of like items and stuff for your trainers. Like I thought that was really cool. Not like a deal breaker or a deal like a seller, but it's still cool to get those extra customization items, the extra hairstyles, stuff for your bike. I never got into the bike customization.
And like you're getting the legendary birds in there,
Yeah, the
with Galarian
forms.
We'll get Galarian forms. Like, come on, like
it's sick.
We're getting all these features for $30. We could have gotten this for $60 with a brand new game called Pokemon Night.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God! Wow, I didn't even think of that. I was like, Sword and Shield. What's this? Next thing is Sword and Shield. Gun? No. Crossbow? No.
It would have been. At least my guess would have been Pokemon Night.
We still might get a Pokemon Night that has it all included.
We could,
and a few.
It'll
all
be like
800 one.
Oh my God! I'm so glad I got all 400 already, because now I don't have to worry about. I already have the shiny charm. I don't have to catch an extra 200. Probably will anyway, but
exactly. Like, you're gonna work at it. You're gonna try and get all 200.
They're adding Garchomp. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be
and I definitely think this just is gonna keep adding to what the game has at the moment. And for those that maybe didn't pick up the game at first, I think this is gonna be a good entry point. I hope they drop. Pokemon never drops in price, so it's gonna be $60 plus a $30 expansion, $90. You might still say no, I'm not gonna do it. but I think it's worth it.
Yeah,
you know,
You don't have to play the
Yeah.
expansion.
Yeah,
but
It's still a meaty game.
exactly.
Yeah.
for sure. And it's dropping at $30, but you get the 2 waves, one in June, one at hasn't been released yet,
Yeah.
the date at least.
I wonder if you'll be able to buy them for
Separately?
like $20 each.
I think if they drop it, they'll do it. Yeah, like about 20 either. You know, what
I
is
think
it?
that-
If it's
I think-
15 each. They do
No,
it like something a little more.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think they're gonna do it separately. I think it's just gonna be
You have to buy
$30.
both of them.
They're gonna go with it the style that Marvel Ultimate Alliance did, where it was just the expansion pass and you couldn't buy them separately.
Yeah, because I think that's what it was. Because I know the ad's already on. If you go to the pause screen, if you're connected to the internet, like your game's updated, it shows it's right there in like the bottom of your pause screen. Is like, oh, expansion
pass.
pack.
Okay.
But yeah, we get the first one in June. Like you said, 200 Pokemon available at the end of June, which is the Isle of Armor. That's coming first. So that's a cool area. It kind of looks more like Dojo Japan-y, which I'm really about. It's very tropical. It's a whole new wild area, which is great. These new places are wild areas.
Okay.
I loved that. That's why I still played the game for months after it dropped. Was just the wild area, and I still go back occasionally trying to build that competitive team. The wild area, because that's all the raids are. That's where all the extra items are and all the stuff for the game.
Honestly, like, let's say you picked it up, you picked up the expansion pass, but Wiley doesn't. You can still invite Wiley into the max raids that are in the expansion
And I can
pass.
still give him all the Pokemon I catch that are in the expansion.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Now you've got.
Did you guys see the image that I found about people talking about how Gigantamax Water Starter has a gun?
Yeah,
yeah.
was it people freak out because the Gigantamax, they gave the starters Gigantamax forms because they didn't have their own unique ones. But now the lizard, what's his name?
Celeron, I know Sobble.
Sobble,
Then
Emo Swoop, and then there's like it's like Sliveon. No,
something Eon. He's a skinny blue guy that has an attitude.
Well,
Yeah.
now he's a skinny sniper blue eye.
he looks like a secret agent, and now he's just got like a big sniper gun on his finger, and his tail gets super long, and he's at the top of a tower. That's
Right.
that's probably why.
Blastoise
Sniper at
had
the top
water
of a
guns.
tower.
Yeah, that's exactly what it resembles. Is a sniper tower.
Wow. Well, I mean, they couldn't, but I guess that's the most ideal position for a sniper. But they could have also probably done like maybe like a little ground thing, but you should just put the robot from Fooly Cooly in, as a sniper.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So that is Anthony's Pokemon Minute. Moving on to our next story. Well, we know that there's going to be a Super Smash Brothers Direct on, what is it, the 16th?
Yes, the 16th.
So we are going to get a character reveal. We will be discussing it on next week's show. And are they going to just drop it?
It's 35 minutes. I guess it's going to be an in-depth look at the upcoming DLC characters. So he'll be talking about the character, why he picked the character, why it's being included, all the good stuff that he loves, why he loves the character. A lot of the rumors circulating right now that it's going to be Dante from DMC. Because by all means, that same day we are getting, revealed the DMC 3 coming to Nintendo Switch.
That's definitely a way to sell a lot more thousands of that game.
Yeah.
Is it going to be physical copy? Like they're just showing it off, or is it going to actually be launching?
I'm not sure. From my understanding, they have a couple reveals in tow actually from the Devil May Cry crew on Twitter. They actually have certain dates already picked out for reveals. January 16th is one. I think there's a date in February, and there's a third date. I forget the exact ones, but they have this roadmap of reveals that they're going to be pushing out. So at least the 16th they're going to be talking about the DMC3 special edition for the Switch. So everybody's taking that as the hint that we are also getting Dante in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the last character for this DLC pack.
I wonder how much they're going to charge for that. I guess my guess would be 30. You can't charge more than 30 for a 15-year-old game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with 30. I can agree with 30 because I think, how much was the triple pack?
30, 40?
The triple pack with 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Well, that's you mean for
the PS4?
I want to say it was like, actually I forget because I bought it on PS3 for wicked cheap.
Yeah.
And I still have it.
Yeah, I have another PS4 now, 40. But I think I picked it up at 20 after it had already dropped for a while. But I want to say it dropped for 40. It definitely didn't drop for 60. I want to say it dropped for 40. And if that dropped for 40 and that was a triple pack and it included DMC3, even though they're adding features to it, I guess, for the Nintendo Switch. I don't see it being more than 30, maybe 20.
I would love like a little bit of some quality of life changes in that game. Like that's definitely my favorite of the series, and a series that I loved back when I was a teen. And so yeah, if they could, modernize it a little bit, I'd be willing to pay max 40. But that's exciting. So, but anyway, it's funny that the final rumor character is Dante. We've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
Like Doom Guy. Who else?
Minecraft Steve.
They were even rumoring Ryo Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
Right.
I hope it's Sephiroth.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
I know that people are still kind of hoping for a last minute like Hail Mary from Sakurai that it ends up being Sora. Sora is the number one pick all across the globe.
Really?
For fan pick.
Wow.
Yeah, for a DLC character for Super Smash Brothers.
His 1,
More
2,
than
and 3
Goku.
version.
What?
More than Goku.
More than Goku.
Good.
Like,
Because Goku's not like from a video game originally. I think he's not a good fit in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Goku's up there in one of the top picks, but across the board, like top 3, Sora comes out top 3 almost anywhere that you look at polling for what characters people want. He's in some places number 1, some places number 2, but always top 3.
I can see it. It's a popular game series.
Yeah, I'd like it. I'd like that. It'd be cool. I'd like Shantae if they put Shantae in the game.
Honestly, I feel like they could do a Destiny Island backdrop for
Yeah, that
Sora.
actually pretty well. Oh my god, so many good ideas.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah,
So that's sort of a news before a news. And next week we'll see how right or wrong we
A
were.
pre-prepper.
Exactly.
I'm hoping they drop it that day.
Our next story, just a quick recap of Awesome Games Done Quick. Awesome Games Done Quick 2020 has wrapped up in triumph with the week-long speedrunning charity event ending with a huge amount of money earned for this year's charity, the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The event raised $3,131,475 from over 54,000 individual donations, which came in from over 80 countries.
That's awesome.
This is the largest amount of any single Games Done Quick event has ever brought in. Donations remain open if you'd still like to be part of the charitable efforts. It ran from Monday, January 6th to Sunday, January 12th. It was attended by 2,750 people. That's in person. And concurrent Twitch viewership peaked at 236,000. An archive of highlights is available on the event's YouTube channel, including Grand Theft Auto San Andreas being completed in just over 4 hours. That's crazy. That game is like exhaustively big. Amid Evil in 2637, The Outer Worlds in 1421.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. And A Hat in Time in 4233. I unfortunately didn't watch any live. Do you guys get a chance to catch any of these? I know, Anthony, you're kind of into speed runs.
I remember Tyler and I last week we caught a little bit, probably like 20 or so minutes of Metal Gear Solid 3. Is Snake Eater's 3?
Yep.
Yeah, Snake Eater. We watched for a bit, and that was insane. Watching the guy do all the tricks. I'm honestly probably gonna go home. I gotta do some drawing, so I'm gonna throw that on in the background. Watch some highlights. I watched all of the Fallout anthology yesterday when I was doing some work. In the background was Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, 4.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You watched all those?
Yeah, it was only the guy did it in 2 hours.
What? Oh my god.
All in one sitting
Insane.
too. It was nuts.
That's insane.
Absolutely nuts.
Was
is
that
crazy.
the guy who brought out the model in order to explain a certain glitch or something that I did?
Oh no, I wish. He kept throwing pants at one of his guys on his couch. Kept telling him to put on more pants. But I want to watch that one. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a really cool event for what I saw. I mean, I kind of jumped in here and there for different games. Probably the most I watched was that Metal Gear Solid 3 speedrun. And it's just like standing the way, like how much people have to play a certain game or like learn from other people on how to actually get through these games so quickly, and being able to play the game as well as explain what you're doing kind of at the same time.
That blows my mind.
Because a lot of these people, like they have the couch panel of people kind of explaining to the audience what's going on, but a lot of the time I saw the actual person playing the game, he was explaining it while he was kind of going through the speedrun.
Yeah, it's crazy. Much
Check it
more
out.
talent than we have, that's for sure.
It's wild. It's like playing an instrument and singing at the same time. I can't do that. But like the guy who yesterday I was watching Fallout he was going like talk. This couch said a couple things, but he was like on it the whole time, like explaining glitches, explaining exactly what he was doing, what he was about to do, I think that's cool because I think it also probably helps him during the run where he's like, okay, checklist, I have this, I got to do this next, I got to make sure I set this up to do this glitch. It's all just pretty much glitches. Like for those long games, you don't think you could ever complete quickly. It's all just like a specific like setup of these glitches that you have to execute, and if you don't, then it's like even like he failed a couple, but the crowd was like really supportive and it was awesome.
Yeah, I've never really checked out a lot of these speed runs. I think I found it very intriguing. The only speed run I really have watched recently was the Outer Worlds one, where they were showing the developers the speedrunner completed in 12 minutes.
I watched that video.
So you watched it. I think I watched it right after you mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
So I was watching, and you could hearing the developers say like, "What is he doing here?" Like, look what he's doing. He's like avoiding all these things. This is that. Like, look how he's avoiding all like these conversations, or how he's doing these cuts, or wow, he did this to avoid the load time of this, cutting, shaving off seconds here and there. Like, I was like, wow, like they understand why he's doing it. Like they're the speedrunners not even talking. Like they're kind of just explain it to us. Why they're like, holy crap, we didn't even know that would even be possible. Like, we made this to kind of counteract that, but he still found a way around it.
It's a great concept for a video. I think IGN did the video, if I'm not mistaken.
IGN did the video with the developers, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah, really interesting to hear their reactions. Yeah.
It's great to see if you pull behind the curtain, and the developers, obviously they spend all the time making the game. Just to see somebody exploit it is just
It's like, I spent 5 years of my life with this, and you just beat it in 12 minutes.
Yep. Sweet. You didn't see the cool conversation I programmed.
So that actually brings us to the end of our stories this week. You got anything else for us, Tyler?
Nope, doesn't look like it. No questions in the chat today.
Okay.
We'll get one day. And when we do, you'll hear it.
Be there. All right, so this has been the Level With You show. It is a weekly video game podcast, as you have heard. You can catch us next week. We record it live on Tuesday evenings. Wednesdays, you can find the video on demand, as well as it on podcast services. Check out other stuff on the YouTube channel. Please give us a subscribe and like the video. Tell your friends. Share it on your Facebook walls. All that good stuff. Until next time, I've been Wiley Umstead. I sign off from the crew.
Bye.
Friday, if you're around, we might be doing something with a new game that's coming out.
Oh, yeah. Maybe streaming some Kakarot this weekend, so keep an eye out for that on twitch.tv/levelwithyou. Thank you all for tuning in.
I am
See you next time.
All Saiyans.
Wow, Goku. Super Saiyan. Bye.